Looking for a car you can count on? At AutoMasters, we offer a hand-picked selection of used and certified pre-owned vehicles priced right and ready to drive. With easy financing and expert service, AutoMasters is your trusted dealership from test drive to keys in hand. AutoMasters, driven by trust, powered by service. Visit our website at automasters06.com or stop by today. And oh yeah, tell them Sonia sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome one of the greatest punters in JSU football history and newly inducted 2025 Jackson State University Sports Hall of Famer, Fred MCRae.
How you doing today, Sonia?
I am doing well, Fred. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. So, Fred, we're going to get right into it, but this question I always ask athletes, because I'm just very curious or nosy, however you want to put it. But what made you fall in love with sports? When did your love for sports begin, or football?
Well, I come from a very athletic family. Several of my uncles played. In fact, I had one that played at Jackson State, other played at Tennessee State, and my grandfather always kept a ball in my hand because we was about the only kids on the block that had a basketball goal in the yard. So we played basketball for a while, football for a while. So my love for the game was through my family.
I love it. That's what's up. So it's a traditional thing for you guys. It just wasn't. It didn't start with you. It was your uncle, your grandfather, everybody. I love that. That's what's up. Even did any women? Did they play basketball or softball or?
Well, my mom, she played high school basketball.
Okay.
But basically, she was the only athletic person in the family as far as the ladies was. But my aunts, they had other talents.
Yeah, I understand. So, Fred, we're going to fast forward to high school. Could you walk us through your journey from being a standout at Quitman High School to arriving at Jackson State as a freshman? What was that transition like for you?
Well, it was coming from a small town like Quitman. When I first, there wasn't really a lot of distraction there. You're talking about a city that didn't have a McDonald's, didn't have a mall, didn't have a movie theater, had one street that went through the whole town. So it wasn't many distractions. So basically, all you had was going to school, and if you was in athletics, you was sports. So once I, got dedicated to my craft as far as playing ball, because I played all positions. It became very easy because there were no distractions. And once I got to look good, and Jackson State reached out to me, and my career just took off then.
And so, but what was the distractions at Jackson State?
Well, coming from a small town, you had a lot of tall buildings, you had a lot of pretty girls.
McDonald's.
You had Walmart, you had the mall.
That's true.
It was just a lot of things. Just a young kid like me, 18 years old, my eyes were wide open. Then being on your own for the first time and being around a lot of different people that you didn't know. So it was a eye opener when I got there.
Absolutely, same here. So speaking of recruiting, do you remember what it felt like being recruited as a punter and what it meant to you to get that call from the JSU coaches?
Well, it's funny saying when Jackson State recruited me as a linebacker.
Really?
But I was, in high school, I punted and kicked off and kicked field goals. But once they were recruiting me as a linebacker, and once I got to Jackson State, we were in need of a punter. And Coach Gorden pulled me to the side and said, Fred, they told me you could punt a little bit. I want you to try a few of them in practice. So, once I kicked a few of them, he told me, he said, well, MCRae, we don't have a punter. You could be the only punter, so that means you're a start. So I jumped on it, son. He said, well, it was simple math. I was on the punt. I knew I was going to play.
What's amazing, because you were not distracted, like you said, you played every part. You were, you was playing every position just about. So that was a good thing.
Right.
being able to punt.
Being able to punt and play tight end, play linebacker, on all the special teams. So it was good to be versatile.
Yes, it was. And so, you mentioned Coach Gorden. What was it like being coached by the late great W.C. Gorden, especially during that era of JSU football? Because that was an amazing time.
When you talk about Coach Gorden, you really, football is like really secondary when you're talking about Coach Gorden, because he was more like a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
He always would give you some wisdom every day, and it was just wasn't about football; it was about life.
Right.
His main thing was he made men out of us, and as you can see, a lot of guys that had left the program during that time have been very successful. And doing, like I said, under Coach Gorden, you learned a lot of life lessons. Football was important, but you learned a lot of life lessons with Coach Gorden.
You're the third person to tell me that when Coach passed away in 2020, I had Barry Dixon and Sean Gregory on the show, and they pretty much said the same thing, that football was secondary. I mean, it was important, but not how he was trying to make you all men. And that's a beautiful thing, because that can last you throughout your life, because football is only for a season, a small season at that. So that's what's up. So what was well, I'm not going to ask that because you kind of already answered. Over your 4 years at JSU, you set some impressive records, like most punts in a season and overall punting yardage. Which of those achievements are you most proud of, and why?
Well, to be honest with you, individual awards are not really my thing, because it's a team effort. And one thing that we achieved as a team, the special team unit that I was part of in 1989, we won the NCAA Net Punting Award, which meant that you really didn't have many HBCUs that took special teams to heart like we did, and we took it to heart. And that year we won a trophy, national trophy, for net punting, which we didn't give up but 7 yards of return, which was great. So that's what I'm most proud of, because that's something that you don't hear of a HBCU getting. And that was
and to be honest with you, you're right. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. That's amazing, especially for HBCU during that time. That's a lot. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. So what went into maintaining consistency as a punter, mentally and physically, throughout your college career?
Well, mentally, you had to be ready. You had a lot of things sometimes that factored in punting. Sometimes you had the wind in your face. It might have been a rainy day. You had to have your mindset on any kind of adversity you might face when you got on the field. Physically, it was just stretching, running, staying in shape. Because basically, when I went to school there, most punters nowadays, they just stand on the sideline with the ball. But at Jack State, I was just like, I was part of the team. I ran and stretched, lift weights, just like they did. So basically, just staying in shape just like everybody else was a real easy thing, because I was involved with it every day.
I love that. So Fred, do you have a favorite or most memorable game or moment from JSU playing days? I mean, for example, the 1990 Soul Bowl, where you had 7 punts averaging 43 yards. Impressive.
That stands out. But the most thing that I remember was I was a part of the first time that a HBCU played a PWI school in '87.
Who did
we played USM.
USM.
That was the first time that in-state schools have played one another, and HBCU and PWI school, and that really was a day to remember. It was crowded. We looked up there, our fans, the band. It was just something I'll never forget, and that's part of history.
It is,
because now it's the new norm. You got Mississippi State reaching out, like they played Alcorn this year, and we played USM. So it's beginning to be a trend, but to be a part of the first one is something I'll never forget.
I love that. That's interesting. So speaking of history, and I know you're not into awards, but how did it feel to eventually be named to the JSU All-Century team? And for some who may not know what that is, it's a recognition of being one of the greatest in the program history. I think you got that award back in 2011. How was that for you?
It was a really humbling to know that my career was something that stood out amongst the greats.
Mhm.
To being in the name with Liam Barney and Walter Payton and Robert Zeal. I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, it
Yeah.
was just, I mean, it was real humbling, and I appreciated it, and it's just something that I cherish.
I mean that, and I mean your name is etched in history all forever. I mean that's a beautiful thing. I love that for you. I know you don't. It's not big, but I know you don't trip on the awards, but it's just really really nice to have.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I mean, I look at the fact that the awards that I'm achieving is because of everyone has to have a good circle, and I
Hmm.
had a good upbringing. My
Yeah.
mom, my uncles, my aunts. I got family, friends that support me. I got a good circle. So really, if everything I accomplish, I always include them in it because they was a part of it.
Right. And that's what's so important. Community, family, and friends who support you and help make you who the man you are today. I like that. So, Fred, I saw that after a long time in 2024, you completed your bachelor's degree at JSU. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What inspired you to go back and finish school after all those years? And what was that experience like?
Well, for so long, Sonia, it was in the back of my mind, always going back and achieving something I should have got,
Hmm.
before now. Once I was in school, basically all I was, was an athlete, but when I was supposed to be there as a student athlete.
Right.
And once I finished, I left there with no degree. But God blessed me with a job to take care of my family. But it
Yeah.
still was that, the emptiness of like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm true blue.
You
I'm
true
true
blue, but
blue.
but that you weren't a graduate. I get
Right, right. I
Mhm.
wasn't a graduate, so that boy was there. So one day, my wife and I, we was riding in the car, and I just told her, I said, you know what? I said they had a program they got, and I hope everybody, some people listening, go on
Mhm.
there if they thinking about going to be called Compete to Complete. And I signed up for it, and they
It's
replied
called
back and
Compete to Complete.
complete to compete, compete to
Hmm.
complete. And
Okay.
it's a degree. What it is, if you got over 90 hours of college hours, in turn, they will assess your transcript and put you in a program to assist you to finish your degree. And once I got the feedback from them and they looked at my transcript, and what's the blessing part of it, I started in the fall of 23, and the spring of 24, I was marching off stage.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
I
it,
love that.
and sometimes like, things that you do, you achieve that. I want to be a light for somebody else that's thinking about going back. It's never
Mhm.
too late to do nothing that you want to do.
I
You know,
love that, Fred. Thank you so much. And com- compete to complete.
right?
I
That's a
hope
program.
I hope someone is listening. Because some people are probably discouraged and was like, I don't want to go back. I know I may have a year and a half, but like you said, if you have 90 hours or more,
Right.
you can get in this program.
Get in that program. Get in that program, and and also it helps to have, I got a long line of graduates in my family, and then my wife, and also my best friends, and all that. I had a
Mhm.
circle who they encouraged me. They didn't discourage me. They encouraged me because every time opportunity they say you need to go back to school, man. You need to go back to
Mhm.
school. So finally, when I did, they were there to assist me, and it made a whole big difference.
I love that. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. That's
Thank
what's up. So, for outside of football, you've always been involved with mentoring youth, officiating games, and giving back to your community. Can you talk about how those activities became a part of your life and why that matters so much to you?
you. Well, growing up, I had my uncles were great father figures to me.
Mhm.
My father was absent, so they filled in the gap, and I felt as though if they from the examples they showed me of how to be a man, I needed to pass that on
Yeah.
myself because there are a lot of young men who are out there that are fathers.
Hmm.
And if I could come along, if I run into 10, I can save one, you know, it's my work is not in vain. So basically when I officiated football, that was just the love of the game. That was the closest I ever be back to the football field. But
Hmm.
I would run into some guys on the field and just encourage them and talk to them. And at church, I would talk to the young men at church, and it's just a part of me that I really thank God that again I had some men in my life, my uncles and my grandfather who showed me
Yeah.
what it took to be a man. And I'm just doing what I'm doing now, just passing the torch.
That's what's up. That's you got to pay it forward. I love that. So, Fred, how has life after college in your career and personal life shaped your relationship with the sport and with JSU?
Well, one thing about sports, teamwork is
Mm-hmm.
something that you can carry over to life because, like I said, you gotta have to have in this life. You can't be by yourself. I was blessed. I've been married for 24 years to one
Hey,
of the young
Soror.
from
I was
one of
just saying, hey, Soror.
yeah one of, so you know who I'm talking about. One of your
Mhm.
Provenians or whatever.
Ram City. That's right.
Ram City. And between being married and just uh, teamwork with her, teamwork with my family and my
Mhm.
friends, that's what carries over from the football field, working together.
That's
And,
right.
yep.
That's right. That's one thing I love about sports. I was a music major at Jackson State. So, music and sports, you have to be very disciplined to learn the music. I play violin and I was a voice major. So, learning French and Italian and German stuff that you don't speak in Latin. Well, I took Latin for 3 years in high school, but you have to be disciplined. And football and sports is the same way. So, it does take a team and community to get you to your place. I love that. So, Fred, November last month, you were inducted into the JSU Sports Hall of Fame. How does that milestone compare to other achievements in your life? What does that mean to you?
To be honest with you, Sonya, it really didn't hit me until the night of. And
Mm,
when I got to looking around and, seeing all the people there and I seen Robert Brazil, who's in the NFL Hall of Fame. This,
yes.
for him to be there, and he was the one that handed me my plaque and handed my ring. I'm
Wow.
like, wow, to me, and
Good.
I told the people, I said, a lot of people dream of being NFL Hall of Fame, but I feel like JSU Sports Hall of Fame
Yes.
is number one because we got a Walter Payton, we got a Leon Barney, we got a
Mhm.
Robert Brazil.
That's
These
right.
guys attended Jackson State, so.
They
And
did.
and hope future wise, we have another one, Jimmy Smith, who's on the back burner. So
That's right.
yes, that night was a night I never forget. And what was so refreshing, I had, to be honest with you, I got a group picture that I took. I had over 25 family and friends and there,
Mhm.
and that was really, it really made my day, that to see that they could have been anywhere else, but they chose to
Came to
celebrate me.
support you.
Right.
Absolutely. I love that. That's what's up. As one of the greats to come out of JSU football, Fred, what message do you hope your story sends to current student athletes or to the next generation from Quitman, Mississippi?
One thing is education is
Mhm.
important. Even though it took me several years to get my degree, but I just want to let them know that education is something that you can't never take from.
That's right.
Whether it's 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when you go get it, that's something that I know
No matter.
they cannot take it away.
That's right.
And I just hope that the young men that's in the program now realize that the opportunity they have
Mhm.
coming to a university on scholarship, because I didn't take advantage of mine when I had it, but I hope and pray that they do take advantage of that and
Yeah.
get that paper, because everybody's not going to make the pro.
Mhm.
It's
That's
not.
true.
It's not. But one thing about it, education, it'll take you a long way.
Take you a long way. Absolutely. So, Fred, do you keep in touch with former teammates or coaches from your JSU days? And if so, what does that network and community look like now, decades later?
Well, we do. We got a group meeting, and it's got over about 150 to 200 players in it.
Wow.
And we keep in touch with each other, and especially like homecoming and
Hmm.
some games that's the local people, the local guys that we play with to come. But especially we keep involved. We lost a lot of teammates
Yeah.
but yet still, as a whole, we still keep in touch. And with the coaches too. Most of the coaches that were there when I was there are deceased, but except Coach Jones and Big C. So
Yeah,
we keep in touch with them. In
I
fact,
love
they had a coffee day on the weekend with Coach Jones.
Oh
Share a
yeah.
cup of coffee with him. Yeah.
hmm
So
I actually posted that I was planning to go, and it didn't work out where I was able to make it. I missed it. I grew up with the Jones kids. So,
right.
yeah, so I really wanted to come and support Coach Jones. I hope he does that again. That's what's up. I love that. So, Fred, how do you view the role of special teams in college football? And do you think punters sometimes get overlooked in discussions about success?
Well, one thing about special teams is a very important part of
Mhm.
football. I mean, you know, field position, uh, field goals, extra points. You can lose a game with an extra
By
point.
1 point.
You can win a game with a field goal.
Yep.
Field position is important. So special teams now is very important. I think in college now they take a lot of emphasis on it now, uh,
hmm
more so than back then when I played.
Yeah. Yeah. It does make a difference because we lost by 2 points Saturday. I gotta let it go.
Yeah.
I
No,
gotta.
that's come on, son.
I know. I know.
I'm still in bereavement right now.
I
I'm
ain't
going
kidding.
through. Uh,
Me too.
I just want to go straight to the repast. I didn't want to go to the
Oh,
funeral.
so heartbreaking, but
Yeah, it was.
let's move
It really.
on.
But you know, sometimes think just the thing about that is sometimes you know defeats will make you get better, and I think that was probably gonna help us out in the long run.
Yeah,
Some weaknesses we might have had we thought was our strength got exposed, but at the end of the day, we had a good year.
we did.
I'm still true blue. You know,
Always and forever.
up or
Up and
down,
down.
win or
Up
lose.
and down. That's one thing when we, especially after Kamaji, and we had a few years before Coach Prime came. Every Saturday I would be about to cry, but I was like,
Yeah, got to go.
you gonna go support them, and if you're gonna post when we win, you gotta post when you
Close when we
lose.
lose. Yep.
So I would be, faking it sometimes. I'll be like, oh, I don't want to put this up, but I love Jackson State. I love forever and a day. So you just gotta go with, roll with the punches. Last question. Fred, if you could give one piece of advice to young athletes who aspire to reach what you've reached, especially those from small towns, what would it be?
First of all, whatever you do, keep God first.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. Learn to pray for what you want, and God's timing is not your timing.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
true.
also be disciplined. You know, you got to discipline yourself. You can't look for others to discipline. You got to have your mind set on what you want to do. You set a goal, you
Mm-hmm.
go for it. You're gonna have some distractions, but don't let those distractions deter you from where you're headed. And that's what I would tell them. Always just keep God first and keep your mind steadfast and straight on what you're trying to accomplish, and you'll reach it.
You sure will. You'll reach it. I do have one more question though. How do you hope your legacy as a JSU Tiger and as a Hall of Famer will be remembered?
I would think, and I know that I was a good teammate, good
Mhm.
friend, nice person to be around,
Yeah.
a humbling person. You know, I'm not a braggadocious person. Everything that I have accomplished is from the man upstairs and from the people that supported me.
Yeah.
That's how I would like people when they mention my name, they just say all good things. You know, everybody's not gonna say good things about you, but I hope that it's just what they look at it. That Fred was a good person.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Bottom line, I love that. Fred, thank you so much for joining me today. However, before we go, I have a game that I play called What You Know. And I'll ask you a few questions and you choose the best one that fits or
Okay.
doesn't fit. Okay?
All right.
It's pretty simple. Let me get mine. Well, I'll look at it here. So, what JSU coach posted more wins than any other coach in Tigers history? Was it Coach Kamaji, Coach Prime, Coach Gorden, or Coach Judge Hughes?
Coach Gorden.
Correct. How many SWAC teams have won the Celebration Bowl? Is it 3, 1, 2, or 0?
2.
Who are they?
Grambling and Jackson State.
Very good. What former JSU head coach became the first Black man to serve as the Secretary of Education under George W. Bush? Was it Coach Sanders, Coach Page, Coach Bell, or Coach Gorden?
Coach Page.
Yes, Coach Page actually passed away yesterday at the age of 92 in Houston. Rest in peace, Coach, and thank you for the memories, the history making that you did. Just astounding. You will be missed. What former JSU head coach played in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons in 1967 and 69? He also served as the head football coach at his alma mater, JSU, from 1999 to 2002, compiling a record of 30-15. Was it Coach Bell, Coach Sanders, Coach Jackson, or Coach Judge Hughes?
It was Judge.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done. I think this is the last one. Yeah. This former JSU coach was selected in the 20th round of the 1956 NFL draft by the Baltimore Colts and was the first Jackson State player to sign an NFL contract. He also mentored future Pro Football Hall of Famers Walter Payton and Jackie Slater. Was it Coach Gorden, Coach McPherson, Coach Hill, or Coach Ellis?
Coach Hill.
Coach Hill. You got them all right. You are a true Jackson State Tiger. In and out. Fred, thank you so much for joining me today. Hey guys, you can follow me on She Say Sports on Facebook, She Say Sports 23 on Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's my show for today. Until next time, this is Sonia with She Say Sports.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say